All right. Uh, can't believe we made it this far, man. We made it all the way to the second episode.
Man, I figured we was gonna do at least 20 before we decide, it wasn't no good. But so
All right.
far, so good, man. It seemed like the three people that watched loved
Yeah. So if you were one of those three people, you know that my name is David. This is my brother Ray, and we are.
Preachers from the Bleachers.
That's right. That's right. So had our first show last week. It was a lot of fun for us. I hope some of you liked it. Maybe some of you didn't. I'm sorry if you didn't. But we're just having some fun talking about some sports and life like we always do. So first of all, I want to apologize for my preparedness last week, which was not very good. We kind of did this off the cuff last week, and I hadn't really, since all the craziness with the pandemic and all that, I've been watching a lot of Netflix and a lot of Hulu, and just really haven't been reading the news and staying away from it. So, and that includes sports news. So
that's real sweet.
Yeah, well, I have to apologize, especially.
That's real sweet.
Wait. I have to apologize, especially to my boy from my Carolina Panthers, PJ Walker, who I called PJ Washington twice last week.
Washington. Yeah,
well, it's two guys playing ball in Charlotte now. Anyway, so I think we're ready, man. I said let's go to the hot hand. So NFL draft starts tomorrow. So tell me what you're expecting out of that. I see you number 52 there, Khalil.
Yeah. So I'm talking about what I'm expecting is, from a Bears standpoint, since it's my team, you asked me what I expect. Right. I expect us to draft 8 linemen. That would be preferable. We need somebody to block for my new quarterback, Nick Foles. You heard me. I don't even know that other guy that played last year. We done with him. But that's what I'm expecting. 8 linemen. I don't even know. We probably only got 5 picks, but I'm still looking for 8 linemen for my Bears.
That's not going to help, Mitch.
It might not, but I think it'll work out for us. If we pick 8 of them, I'm figuring 3 of them got to know how to play. But on a bigger, broader level, on an NFL level, it's always about the quarterback. We touched on this last time. Quarterback. I'm very interested. We know who's going in the top of the draft. We know, right? We just talked about him. Tua.
Joe Burrow.
Right? Joe Burrow, right? Where is Jordan Love going to go? Are the Patriots going to come up to 23 to get him? I think they already at 23, but is he going to fall that far, right? From a personal standpoint, this is probably a good draft if Jake Fromm falls all the way down to my Bears in the 3rd round or something. We need a quarterback of the future. I don't know how long Nick Foles is going to play. Maybe 2, maybe 3 years. We need to get one of these cats right now that we can train up a little bit and then keep the show rolling.
Well, if Nick's career goes like it has been, he's going to show up and have like 4 or 5 really good games for you, and then you guys are going to trade him.
Facts. But as long as them 4 or 5 games, he throw 40 touchdowns and 0 interceptions, I'm good with it. But really, the whole story, it's always a quarterback draft. Where are the quarterbacks going to fall? You know what I mean? I just think, not even for my Bears, but for any team that's drafting in the 2nd, 3rd round, and you looking for a young quarterback that can develop and maybe be something, maybe a borderline Pro Bowl player, I think Jake Fromm is that guy. I think he just got lost in the shuffle, but the dude can play. He can ball.
Yeah. So for what I'm looking for my Panthers is defense. We lost a couple of guys to the Cowboys this year, Dontari Poe and Gerald McCoy, is that who the other one was? And then Luke Kuechly retired, man. So that is a major hit. Yeah. Major hit for us. So not only is he just awesome on the field, he is the emotional leader for the team. And boy, we're just really going to miss that. I think if the Panthers did things right, they would bring him back and have him coaching or doing something. Just have him in the locker room, I think, man.
Don't no man making millions of dollars want to come back and coach for hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Well, what are you going to do? What are you going to do to make that kind of money anyway? If you were a football,
we don't know what kind of businessman Luke Kuechly is. He might. I know there's people out there. I think they say Gronk only lived off his endorsements the whole time he played, so we don't know. We do know athletes go broke, but I ain't trying to put that on Luke Kuechly. I'm gonna pretend that my man took care of his finances. I mean, obviously, I mean, when you retire this young, I'm gonna put it in, I gotta think that you knew that this might be coming, and you say, you know what, I'm gonna say these last 2 years that I've been playing, put away this money, man, and sit at home with your kids and watch football.
Yeah, well, that's all cool and everything, but my point was we're gonna miss Luke. So
Oh no, you're gonna miss him, miss.
yeah.
The NFL gonna miss.
So the Panthers have pick number 7, and I'm hoping they take the linebacker from Clemson if he's still there. Is it Lionel Simmons? Is that was his name? What's his name?
Isaiah Simmons.
Isaiah Simmons. Sorry. So
Simmons. Don't matter. A Simmons.
A Simmons guy.
I know it's Isaiah, but it don't matter. As long as you get a Simmons, you're good.
Once again, Lionel Simmons was a basketball player, and I got basketball on the brain. So yeah, I hope they get him, man. I don't know if he's still going to be there at 7 or not. If he's not there at 7, I'd kind of like to see the Panthers trade down and maybe pick up a couple picks to get some defensive linemen or something, down draft just a little bit. But so that's kind of what I'm hoping about for the Panthers. I saw that somebody said this week that Tua dropped off like 3 draft boards, and I was like, well, so what? That might have been like 3 teams that didn't need quarterbacks at all. Or if they were going to draft one, they might take a flyer in the 7th round on somebody who might, get to camp and make the practice squad. Maybe in 2 or 3 years, he can be a backup. But so, somebody had him going like number 6 to Miami, which I can see that because Miami, their quarterback situation is very sketchy. It's who do they got? They got
talking about Tua though still, right?
Yeah, Tua.
We discussed this already. Tua is going in the top 5, in my opinion, probably in the top 3. Somebody coming up. I already talked about this already. Let's get on what's really important.
Well, tell me what's really important then.
The Tampa Bay Bucks.
Oh yeah. Go ahead.
Tom Brady. Gronk. Let me just go and tell all the Tampa Bay Bucks fans right now. Please buy Super Bowl tickets right now. Not because your team is going, but because you're going to need to sell them to me on the cheap. Tampa Bay ain't going to be, they ain't finna win nothing. I'm just being honest with you, right? Look, if you bring Brady, first of all, the last time you saw Brady, did he look good? Did he look like Tom Brady of the first 2-3 Super Bowls? No, sir. You ain't even got to answer that. The last time you saw Gronk, did he look like the Gronk? No, sir, they didn't. So it's okay that you want to bring a little bit of the Patriot way into your system. But when you bring dudes of Tom Brady caliber, Gronk's caliber into your system, now it's like Burger King trying to be McDonald's. It ain't going to work. You got to do your thing.
Well, my thing on Brady is, look, everybody's been waiting for him to fall off a cliff for years because he's, 43, going on 44 or somewhere in there. So first, he's out of the system there in New England, for the first time ever. And what I know about quarterbacks that have gone into New England and played well and then left is they weren't so good after they left New England. Can you say Matt Castle?
Matt Castle.
So Garoppolo.
11-5.
Yeah, Garoppolo
11-5 with the Patriots. He was 5-1-11 without the Patriots.
Yeah. So I mean, that's what I see happening for Tom Brady. Not only is he old, but he's out of the system there in New England, and I think he's just going to have a terrible year. I know he's got some good receivers, with Goodwin. I don't know what they're going to do with all those tight ends. Probably, I would bet O.J. Howard and or Cameron Brate get traded tomorrow.
Can't trade both of them. One of them got to go. Well, but more importantly, if I'm Mike Evans, I want to be traded. I don't want to play on the team where the number 1 receiver now is Gronk. I don't want to do that. You done brought your boy to the squad? No, dude. I'm the man over here. Yeah. So if you ain't throwing the ball, you better look at me first, second, and then go look at Gronk. Then everybody else get to eat. Everybody else get to eat after me.
He had some of that last year with Goodwin. Goodwin was almost the number 1 receiver there last year. I don't know what the targets are right now. I haven't looked them up, but it seemed to me the entirety of last year that Goodwin was getting more targets than Evans was.
He got more targets, not because he was necessarily better. We can harp on the fact that Winston threw for 30 interceptions, but he did throw for 30 touchdowns and 5,000 yards. So it was just, the ball was just going to everybody. But if I'm getting doubled, Goodwin just did his job, what a number 2 supposed to do.
Yeah.
Who else was you guarding on that offense? Yeah. You can't name the running back. You
I
know
want
what I
to
mean?
talk. Yeah, I want to talk about. I want to talk about Jameis for a second because like some people have made some big deals of the fact that he threw for 5,000 yards last year. He threw for 5,000 yards because his team was behind every game. So you got to be throwing all the time. So that's why he threw for 5,000 yards. It's not because he was a great quarterback. It's
No,
because he.
did nobody say it was great? We just pointing out that it was 5,000 yards. So, like, I mean, I feel you. I understand. I ain't saying that the dude was great, but it could have been worse. He could have been Mitch Trubisky. You know what I mean? I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. At least he had the ability to throw the 5,000 yards.
Yeah.
Mitch was behind too. He still barely made it to 2,500. So
And
I mean, I ain't trying to say that Jameis is the cure-all to anybody's quarterback issue.
no.
And if I was Jameis, I'd go sit 1 or 2 years in Pittsburgh behind Ben Roethlisberger, wait for him to set it down, and take over there. That's the
So
best spot for him.
so if you got the option right now, you're looking for a quarterback. Would you take Jameis or Cam Newton?
See, okay. So when Jameis came out, I thought Jameis was gonna be the Black Dan Marino. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm gonna take Jameis.
Okay.
That's hard. I can't. I mean, if I right now I feel dirty because I love Cam, as my man Primetime said. Whoa, Cam, but I can't do it right now. You came off an injury. You came off an injury. You ain't played the whole year. Was you 31, 32? Let me get the younger dude with some interception because you know what? I mean, if you go into Pittsburgh, you planning to hand the ball off. They don't even care who the running back is. We're gonna hand it off because that's what we do. We in Pittsburgh, right? We expecting you to spread the love around. But I mean, I always say this about Jameis Winston. You know why he got 30 interceptions? You know why he got 5,000 yards? Because the coach kept calling doggone pass plays. I'm just gonna cut your pass plays in half and see if you can can I get you to 15?
It's because he had to throw that many times. You're right. You're right. So Albert from the Brotherhood, we explained them last week, told me to talk about why isn't Cam on a team yet. And man, I looked at the quarterback situations around the league, and there's like 5 or 6 teams that really, really need a starting quarterback. And honestly, I don't think Cam's a starting quarterback right now, and nobody really knows because one, those other teams can take a player in the draft. You know, a couple of them have high draft picks. They're going to take quarterbacks. So,
Agreed.
and Cam is coming off a Lisfranc injury on his foot, and a Lisfranc injury is tough to come back from. And you know he's had like surgery twice on it. So, and he wasn't very accurate when he was passing. So, there's why I think Cam's not on a team. I think he's going to go somewhere. He might wait until somebody gets injured and then they call him. I don't know.
Yeah, man.
I think his ego is too big to be a backup right now.
So I don't know about all that. I know this, that Albert didn't listen to the show last week. He think he listened to the show, but I had already explained. I'm not going to be repeating this, man. Listen, if you listening, bro, pay attention. Pay attention. I'm only going to say this one more time. We ain't going to talk about Cam no more until the season starts. He going to the Chargers. And the only reason he ain't with a team right now because the Chargers are trying to decide which quarterback they going to drive, how far up they have to drive. They got Tyrod, and Tyrod is the one that's going to be the odd man out because Cam coming to the Chargers. Get your tickets out there in L.A. L.A. Chargers. Get out here. Anyway, get your tickets. Cam is coming. Tyrod is on the way out. We got the new guy. Whoever the new guy. Because listen, as much as I love Cam, I got to be a realist about it. It didn't look good. Same thing with Brady. When the last time you saw Cam, did it look good? It didn't look so good. I might still believe in him. But I don't expect other people to have my feelings and my belief. Cam going to the Chargers. Tyrod Taylor is going to be cut, and they're going to draft a new guy. It's Cam's job to keep that job for 5 more years if he wanted. But the minute he slipped, I think he's going to be good for this year, maybe slightly better than average. But if he fall off in the second year, you know how it works in the NFL. I already drafted a guy. I drafted him high. I plan on playing him. That's how it works.
I'll tell you what, no matter where Cam goes, I'm not taking him in fantasy.
All right. Here we go with fantasy football. Let's just point out why we here. How many fantasy football championships you got?
And how many you got? 2.
How many the rest of the Brotherhood got? One.
Yeah, out of 5 years. Yeah, you're right.
I ain't gonna say nothing because they swear they know football. I ain't saying nothing. I ain't saying nothing.
Well, you know football, and I know fantasy games. So there, we'll say that. So I was going to talk a little bit about the format of the trade this year. I'm sorry, of the draft this year, because it's all online, right? So everybody's got computers and they're using Zoom and whatever program, video chat program they have for the drafts this year. Now I know there's one of the GMs or coaches or somebody. He has got the team IT guy in an RV in his parking garage or in his parking lot right there in front of his house in an RV all weekend. So if something goes wrong, that guy's going to be in there.
He came to win. He came to play. He ain't playing with folks on draft day.
Right. So one of the things John Elway said that he thinks there's going to be a lot fewer trades this year because of the format and the time it takes to do trades and that kind of stuff. So, which is kind of odd to me because, I mean, you can still get on the phone and call somebody.
Your boy has the advantage. He's not your boy now, but he used to be the GM in Carolina. Gettleman is an old school tape watching kind of dude. So he might make some moves or some trades or just picking players flat out wherever his turn to pick. He might turn out to be the best at this because this is what he do. Yeah. He good at all the technical crap, all that. He just look at players on the film and he's based most of his decisions on that. And then, over the past few years as technology come in and, you got scouts that's saying, no, this guy runs a 40 and this and all of that. He's not really into that. He like to see what it is on tape that make a player good. And since, hey, you couldn't bring a dude in, you couldn't interview him. I guess you could talk to him on the phone, but you couldn't sit down and work him out. So now without no workouts, this guy from the Giants, man, might be in the best position of all the GMs because this is his element. This is the thing he like to do.
It'll be interesting to see. So do you think there are going to be fewer trades in like Elway was saying?
No, man, because everybody, let's be honest. I think I'm a GM. You think you a GM. You think you smarter than me. Somebody always think they outsmarter than the next man. So I if anything, I think it's more trades because let's just use Gettleman as an example. It's people on his board that might start falling, and he might be sitting over there thinking, yeah, they ain't seeing what I'm seeing, right? Yeah. You like them thin, I like them fat. It is what it is. You know what I mean? we have a different value system. You follow what I'm saying? If I see a fat chick and she falling down the board, I'm thinking, yeah, that's me right there. I got that player. Let me holler at you. But somebody else not gonna value it in the same way. And I'm just saying that I think that's Gettleman right now, or any GM. They all think they smarter than the other guy. So I'm just saying. So
you're saying watch the Giants?
I think the Giants is the guy. Well, I'm saying watch them, but not necessarily on draft day. I'm saying watch what they players do over the next year or two compared to everybody else, because this guy is more of a let me see you on tape. Let me see. Which, let's be honest, why does it matter what you run in a 40 if all you do is make plays? And then all of a sudden we get out there and we find out you slow as hell. Yeah. What they got to do with it? So obviously your brain is up to speed, right? And you got to play with this first. Your body comes second. If you ain't using your mind, then it don't matter. What good is if you the world's best athlete and the play is going left and you decide to go right because you ain't that smart? You see what I'm saying? So you start with your mind in the first place. So if that's what it's gonna come down to, just watch the doggone tape. Ain't nobody got to tell you. This guy got 200 tackles last year. This guy got 50. But the guy over here at 50 got to also run a 4.1. I don't want him. Yeah. I don't want him. Give me the guy that make plays.
Right on. Well, draft starts tomorrow. I'm looking forward to that. Let's go Panthers. So, anyway, so we'll
got the highest paid running back in the league.
That's right.
And guess what that means? Nothing, because you're still gonna be 5-11. Next.
Well, listen.
It'd be exciting.
Now that our defense is gone, yeah, maybe. So, a defense is what kept us in a lot of games last year and the year before, and many years before. So, but I will say the Panthers in 2018. I love what they did in 2018. They got Moore with their first pick, and then
DJ Moore.
Yeah, DJ Moore, and then the rest of it was just solid defense. So hopefully,
but I ain't gonna bring it up.
Anyway, so all right. So this week, I think we covered the draft pretty well there. But this week, the Last Dance, the Bulls 1997-98 show started. Did you watch that this week?
Man, I watched it, but guess what? Being a Bulls fan, growing up in Chicago in that time, out of 2 hours of that show, I probably got 15, 20 minutes of something that I didn't know. And like, I knew they hated Jerry Krause.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know they.
I
didn't know they hated him to the level that they berated him.
I did.
Man, it must be nice to be able to cuss out your boss.
Yeah.
Well, they were literally.
If you're Michael Jordan, your boss ain't gonna fire you, man. If you're Scottie Pippen, your boss ain't gonna fire you.
But he did fire him, and that's
eventually. After 6 championships.
Well, why?
Because he wanted to build a team and show everybody that he could do it himself.
So you fired him. Well, I mean, that's the biggest thing I got out of that was an NBA. This man is considered the greatest of all times by most people accounts, and you said this is it.
Yeah.
Hey, Phil, you ain't coming back. Scotty, you have the right. It ain't the Bulls without Phil, Scotty, and Michael. I mean, You need these 3 entities. Everybody else is interchangeable. Ask Charles Oakley. Ask Horace Grant. Ask Tony. Ask Steve Kerr.
Till he got 6 championships first.
You got to roll it, baby. Just ride it to the wheels fall off. They was winning. Listen, if they had lost the next year and you say, hey, man, we finna blow it up, we good, I'd have been like, ooh, that sucks, but okay. But not when I just gave my man a little push off, pop that jumper in there. No, that ain't the time.
A little push off?
A little push up there. Dang, did they call it? That's the end of this discussion. Did the referee call it?
Doesn't matter if they call it.
It ain't a foul unless you call it, baby. That's all I'm saying.
Everybody in the arena goes.
But they ain't got no whistle. So what their opinion? It don't.
Just a little push off.
But
sailing into
all I'm saying is, as Michael said it better, as we were winning, as a champion, you have the right to come back and defend it. But this man said, no, ain't no Phil Jackson. If I'm Michael, who the hell am I going to play for? Who you going to go get that I relate to I just want to sit with this man. There's nobody he could soil to Michael Jordan say, hey, man, this guy going to be just as good as Phil Jackson? No, dog. No.
Tim Floyd, baby.
Watch your mouth. Those are bad words in the city of Chicago.
I bet they are. The last thing I got to talk about, just on the hot hand, is I heard this week, it's a small thing, that the XFL is looking for a buyer to keep it in, just keep it going next year. So if you got $5 billion, would you take a flyer on it?
Yeah, like if I had $5 billion, absolutely. But I was just about to say, we already know you got them deep pockets, brother. Go and reach up in there and get. You got the deep pockets. But yes, absolutely. Yeah. What did you not like about the XFL? Listen, when the NFL was taking a look at some of the innovative rule changes they made on the kickoff, if you have the NFL attention, you doing something right. I ain't said, and they said we ain't trying to compete with the NFL. Yeah. If the end of the year our players want to go play in the NFL, fine, right? They did everything right except for, like I said last week, the man changed his mind. Now we know he didn't change his mind. He trying to see if he could profit. Yeah. I told you he was a good businessman.
Well, I tell you, if I got the money, I might do it too. I would hope that somebody like Steve Ballmer or maybe Mark Cuban or somebody like that would step up and say, "I'll put some money in. Let's maybe they can join up together and do it." But you know what?
It's too new, in my opinion, and this is probably why Vince got out of it. It's too new for somebody to say, "Hey, I might have trillions and bazillions of dollars, but I ain't just trying to throw away $5 billion." Well, right. So if you got a Mark Cuban and a Steve Ballmer combined, I feel you. I see what you're saying.
Right.
Then the loss might not be so bad that I can handle it. I mean, I'm saying they can handle it without either one. They just trying to,
Yeah.
protect their losses.
I tell you what I like most about the XFL is that there was a team in Dallas, and there was finally a football team in Dallas I could root for. So, because I hate the Cowboys, and the ticket prices were reasonable enough where I could actually go to the game. So
don't be like that. Why you hate the Cowboys?
Oh, come on, man. Come on.
I mean, your Carolina Panthers even tried to dress like them with the blue and the silver. They gonna change the blue a little bit.
Our uniforms are much nicer. They're much nicer.
Yeah. Now I ain't gonna say they much nicer.
Fast man, let me tell you my story.
The Carolina Panthers owner, Jerry Richardson, before they sold out to this guy, boys with Jerry. Come on, man. He tried to be Cowboys with the colors and everything.
They're different colors. But
it's blue and it's silver.
Well, oh my gosh, there's how many blue and silver teams are there in the NFL or anywhere else? I mean, the Detroit Lions too. Are the Detroit Lions trying to be like Cowboys? I don't think so.
Cadillac blue. Now that's different.
It's a different blue in Charlotte. So let me tell you why I don't like the Cowboys. I didn't really mind them that much when we moved to Texas from North Carolina, but I had this neighbor, and he said it was against his religion to have a TV. So we lived in this house in West Texas, and it had like sliding glass doors up front by the den, so you could see through the doors. So, but every Sunday he would come over and watch our television because he was just a Cowboys fanatic, and he annoyed the crap out of us with it. And then if mom and dad weren't there and we were teenagers, they'd say, "No, lock the door, don't let anybody in." And it's a Sunday afternoon, so Jim's coming over to watch the Cowboys, and we wouldn't let him in, and he just went freaking nuts. And so he stood outside and looked through the glass like this, trying to watch the Cowboys. Yes. So that's where my first dislike for the Cowboys came from, was him. So
apparently it wasn't against his religion totally if he had to watch the Cowboys. Yeah. But I feel you. You don't hate the Cowboys. You hate the Cowboys fans.
Well, I do hate the Cowboys too. Like back in the day, they had all these criminals on there. This guy getting busted for that guy getting busted. Well, Michael Irvin got busted in a hotel room with a bunch of cocaine and a prostitute.
Why you gotta be so negative? Why you gotta be so negative? I mean, football is listen, man. I need some criminals on my football team. That's what I'm saying. I'm just being honest, man. It's a professional football. Right? If I'm coaching little kids, I might not want some criminals, but maybe some borderline criminals. You know what I mean? I'm just saying it's the only sport where you could commit a felony. You could commit assault, and all day long you go upside a person's head and the police won't arrest you. So yeah, I mean, you can't it's a very violent game, right? Violent is the thing that really evolutionized humans, not to get off on a tongue, but Dr. Raymond Darth, a noted sociologist, anthropologist, or whatever it was talking about how violence evolutionized us. Think about a caveman with a club. You got to feed you got to go outside and beat the hell out of a saber tooth, right? That's how you ate back then, right? You had to go kill something. It's a club in your hands. That violence evolutionized us. But we still deep down inside had a little bit of violence. That's why we have laws to control us or be the Wild Wild West. But you need them kind of violent, beat a saber-tooth, tiger down kind of felons on your team to be successful. You might be a good church, pious man and all of that good stuff inside, but football is where you get to let it out. So yeah, I need some criminals. I need all them Miami Hurricanes. What year was that back in the day when they doing the dance on the field right over the top of the quarterback? I need all of them. I need all of them come back. Let me get some Ray Lewis on my team. Mike, why you mad at Mike? It's not. Let me go back and I digress.
Yes, you do. Like way over there.
Over there. It ain't got nothing to do with the Cowboys because I love Jerry Jones. It's Cowboys fans.
Well,
it's Cowboys.
I would say it's 75% Cowboys fans, 25% Cowboys.
It's 99% Cowboys fans. So let me tell you why. Cowboys, I was living in Dallas, had a roommate named Cedric. What's up, Ced? Holla at your boy. Cowboys was 0-8 that year.
and they still think they're going to the Super Bowl.
Yes! This fool wakes up one day, he says, Cowboys win the next 8, be 8-8, and get in the playoffs. And I said, man, they already mathematically eliminated. He looked at me and told me I was a dream killer. That's what he told me. He said, you a dream killer. I can't mess with you no more, Ray. You a dream killer. And I BS you not when that man moved out 2 weeks later.
Wow.
I killed his dream so bad he couldn't even. I'm like, I mean, he did give me the money for the rent. But he moved out 2 weeks later, man, just because I told him the Cowboys, they don't live in reality, bro. Cowboy fans do not live in reality. I've been telling them for years, Tony Romo and Jason Witten are going to be the all-time the quarterback in the Cowboys history with the best statistics and the one with the most receiving catches, yards, and all that. And they ain't gonna have nothing to show for it. Nothing.
I had so many arguments with Cowboys fans about Tony Romo. They hate Tony Romo, and I don't. I think
they love Tony Romo. They 50-50.
Well, I hear more hate for him than love because, I mean, I tell you what, I think he's the best quarterback the Cowboys have ever had, and he never had the great team that some of those other guys had. Like he didn't have Emmitt Smith to run with. The best team.
Agreed.
The best team Romo ever had, he never played a snap with because he got injured and they turned it over to Dak Prescott.
Agreed.
So, Tony, man, if you ever see this, if you ever hear about it, you are the best quarterback the Cowboys ever had. And I'm sorry, these people did not treat you with the respect you deserve.
You ain't got to feel bad for Tony Romo.
He got a lot of money.
$17 million a year talking about football. And by the way, I can't stand his voice. He be on point. Man, what he be saying?
He's great at it.
Man, he good at the job.
Yeah.
But I can't stand his voice, man. It cringes me. I don't even know why. But let me just say this about the best quarterback all time in Dallas Cowboy history. Roger Staubach.
I hate that guy.
I'm going to go with Roger Staubach, and guess what? I ain't got no facts or no statistics. I just don't want to say Romo, and I'm an Aikman hater because I always tell people Aikman is a robot. Plop, 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 plop. I got to have the best running back, the best left tackle, and the best wide receiver to be
best
effective.
Center.
The second, you take any one of them things. If Emmett ain't there, or Michael ain't there, or Novacek ain't there, if any one of them three entities are not there, that brother was horrid. Yeah, he was accurate when he threw it to Michael Irvin and he had Emmitt Smith. You have to play the run. How can I listen? I mean this from the bottom of my heart. I believe Steve Walsh could have did the same job. if I'm handing it off, if Emmitt Smith is in it, I mean, you have to come up and respect the run. Yeah. Your safety have to be in the box. It's the all-time leading rusher. That strong safety has to come down in the box and respect the run. That leaves Michael Irvin out on the outside by himself. Man, Steve Walsh I was going to say me, but that's a lie. But Steve Walsh can make that play, could have made that play, and would have been just as good as Aikman was. I ain't got no love. I ain't got no love for Aikman. Right. Really don't like Tony Romo. Not for no other reason other than he played for the Cowboys. So I'm going to go with Roger Staubach because it was before my time.
I'll let you have Roger. That's fine. So we made Cowboys fans mad enough tonight, and now my life is in danger here in Dallas, I know. But let's go ahead and move on. So we'll go to the off season. I know I want to talk some basketball. I know you want to talk some basketball too. My favorite sport. So where do you want to begin? You want to talk about Jalen Green going to the G League?
It's all about the G League right now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's three cats. Jalen is the headliner, I guess, is going into the G League, but they talking paying these top recruits $500,000. I mean, you're only gonna make $100,000 in college. I mean, that's a big improvement. If you go to Duke or Kentucky, hey, I put my school in there. I'm just saying, you only gonna make $100,000. That's the max. You know what I mean? So you might as well go to the G League and get that $500,000. But I don't know what that does for the NCAA basketball. Like I think it weakens it and strengthens it at the same time. I just think regular season, I mean, kind of. I mean, if you get
No, man.
not right now, only
Yeah,
3 win, but say the top 10 or 10 of the top 15
and
players
that's going to
decide
happen.
I'm not going to college. I'm gonna go to the G League.
Yeah,
First of all, I want G League tickets now.
yeah,
I
me
mean, it's
too.
just we talking about summer league. We talking about summer league. How good it is. Watch these young cats
Yeah,
do their thing. I want a G League ticket. I'm more likely to buy a G League ticket now than I am a college game.
that's one of my notes. One of my
If
notes is like it's like summer league all year long. It's like all season
because
long. It's like summer league, watching these rookies and really good guys play. But my thing is, I don't think it's bad for the NCAA. I like teams that have like upperclassmen leadership. I think outside of maybe the top 15, 20 teams, that have the one and done guys, it's pretty much going to be the same. But for guys like Kentucky, for guys like Duke, I think it's going to change their teams a little bit, but guys are going to stick around longer. You're going to have more player development. You're going to have teams that play better together. So I think it actually, like in a team like Duke, I think it helps the program because you don't have to teach everything every year. You've got some help from your upperclassmen showing these freshmen, hey, this is what you do. This is what we do here. This is how we do this. You've got some leadership there doing that, making your program a better program.
I,
So,
I I agree with all of that except
yeah.
for I ain't watching during the regular season. You ain't got no. I mean, I watch college primarily to see my team win. Second, I watch because I'm watching future NBA stars. But if 10 of the top 15 players decide to go to the G League, now I'm not watching NBA stars. I'm watching NBA scrubs. Come March, I'm all about that life. Because now I think Gonzaga might actually win a championship. Because Gonzaga don't necessarily go after, top 20, 25. They develop, like you say, right?
Yeah, right. They're a
They
great
very
program.
seldom got but they ain't great enough to win it, and they haven't.
They
So
might
I'm
have been
saying
this year.
shoulda, coulda, woulda. Blame
Yeah.
it on the COVID. We ain't gonna never know because that's done and that's a wrap. But a team like Gonzaga, maybe a team. What's the George Washington back in the day? Was it George Washington with the
G-Dub.
Marine uniform?
I
G
saw
Dub,
them in the Final
G Dub,
Four.
G Dub might win one. Florida Gulf Coast, they might win one. Now
VCU.
Cinderella might actually make it all the way home with her slippers on next time. That's all I'm saying. So I think March Madness might not be better, but regular season, I don't want no part of it. Call me when Kentucky playing. Call me when Kentucky is playing Duke, but I ain't watching UCLA and USC
I,
basketball. I ain't Arizona. I ain't watching nobody because your best player is in the G League.
I'm still watching NCAA ball the whole season. So, well, let me ask you this on the opposite side of that, because I thought about this too. So, what about the player? Do you think this, money aside, he's going to make a lot of money that first year. Money aside, do you think it's better for Jalen Green to go to the G League as opposed to college?
Hell, man, yeah.
Okay.
Why they keep exploiting these children? I listen. Not we ain't talking about the fifth man, but let's just use a person like Zion.
Yeah.
Zion was worth more than the education they gave him. That's what I'm saying. I'm not gonna make an argument for the 12th and the 15th man on the bench. You don't do nothing but help, in practice. When you Zion Williamson and you at Duke, you generate more money than your scholarship. So if you're the Jalen Green and if you just 2/3 of that, you being exploited. Go and get your money, dog. Go and get your money. Get paid. That's what this is about. This is America. That's what we do. We get paid around here. I mean, that's what they do. If you ain't making, why is it that the university can make all this money? Man, I was talking with one of my kids about this. Man, they exploited the heck out of LeBron. He was in high school and got games on ESPN, and then they had the audacity and the nerves and say he came to school with a Hummer. So
He got to learn from that. So I got a couple of thoughts on that. So you brought up Zion. So you say that he brought in more money than he gave up. But I would argue to you that he got more from being there than if he had not. Because look what happened with LaMelo Ball. he's off in Australia somewhere. I haven't seen a clip of him all year.
I
So,
have.
okay, well, you have. I haven't. And you know I watch a lot of ball. So Zion got on the biggest stage in America, especially during March. He got all the coverage from being in at Duke, playing on TV almost every week, nationally almost every week. So he got a lot out of that. So you're telling me that
Yes.
going to the G League or going to Australia
Yes.
is better for him than the
Yes.
exposure and the training and the coaching that he got in college.
Yes.
I disagree completely.
If Zion could have went to Perry State College, he could have went to Perry View A&M. He could have played on my fake team, and the media would have still came and man, the dude was number one before he came out. There was only like one or two other dudes that might would have been the number one pick before the college season started. Come
But
on, y'all. It don't matter where he
playing
plays.
for a G League team or an international team, you are not going to get that kind of media.
We
You
gonna
are
see
not.
when LaMelo Ball goes in the top 5. Your theory is gonna be kaput.
Well, we'll see. But he didn't. He won't come back with all the the endorsements and stuff like that. That
He a pro. He already got endorsements. He already about to do a
not
deal with
like
Nike for a
Zion,
deal.
and not like Zion.
No, not like Zion. He is
Yeah.
not Zion's talent. So
No.
now, I mean, we just want to talk about Zion. We're talking about Zion,
Look.
LeBron. There's not no other Zion. I'm using these two guys because of the
Okay.
stature that they came into the league,
Well, let's do
right?
this.
Not into the NBA league, but they came into college and they already had 300,
Well,
500,000
let's do
followers.
this. Let's do this. Let's put that guy. Not let's not talk about Zion. Let's talk about the 10th or 12th guy taken in the draft and the kind of exposure he got playing in the college to championship, the NCAA Final Four, and all that kind of stuff. The guys that get that kind of exposure, they would not get that playing in the G League. I'm not talking about Zion, who had a million subscribers on YouTube or whatever else before he got to college. I'm talking about guys that played their way into an NBA contract by being great in college and making a name for themselves in the NCAA tournament. You're not going to get that kind of exposure. You're not going to make that kind of money off of playing in Australia or in the G League. So, but I'd say this also. I do not think the coaching in the G League is as good as in college at all. Because I tell you what, you know who the head coach of the Texas Legend was a few years ago? It was Eduardo Nahara.
Nancy Lieberman.
Yeah.
People
You
think
telling me
he's
that's the
high
kind of coaching you want to give somebody you think is going to be a starter on your roster?
for 1 year and $500,000. I ain't gotta listen to her. She know what the him or nobody else. They already know what the deal is.
You
Get
still
that
need to
man the
develop.
ball. Get that man. You're gonna develop next year. Right now, you're gonna put $500,000 in your pocket. You'll develop when you get to your second professional year, your first year in the NBA. But you tried to change the topic, man. You ain't that smooth. I
What are you
mean,
talking
we're
about?
talking about Zion, LeBron, Jalen Green, which he
Okay.
ain't even in. He not in that category. Absolutely, if you're in the ESPN and if you're an ESPN basketball player and you're number 150, you need to take your tail to college. You do need exposure. Zion, LeBron did not need it.
I'm talking about even the drop from number 1 to number 3 in the nation. I mean, the kind of exposure you get playing in the NCAA tournament and making it to the NCAA tournament is worth millions to a lot of people. Okay, Zion he was number 1 from start to finish. He was from the beginning to the end. He was number 1. But other guys like you cannot get that kind of exposure in Australia or
ain't,
Serbia or wherever
ain't
else.
nobody from Florida Gulf Coast went to the Final Four in the NBA team right now. Didn't even get a tryout. So that's what I'm saying. They got exposure, but it didn't do shit for them.
No, there's a lot of guys that work themselves into NBA contracts and stuff like that. There are.
But we're not talking about them, but we're not talking about the others. We're talking about a higher level. You said Jalen Green. Is it better for Jalen Green? Yes. Does LeBron or Zion do they need a North Carolina or Kentucky? No, they don't. They don't. But if you Gordon Hayward and you could ball and you take Butler to the Final Four, nobody would ever see. But I feel what you're saying, but nobody would have never heard of who Gordon Hayward was. If one of them
Mac.
cats of one of the, who he
Mac.
don't even deserve to be in the NBA. He should be back in the G League.
He got there because of the exposure in the Final Four, though.
He got there on Gordon Hayward's back. Gordon Hayward is a ball.
He still got the exposure. If he'd have been playing in Australia, he would have never made it to the NBA.
How many?
A lot.
Did it? Nah.
A lot. There's a lot of guys that got drafted making a name for themselves in the tournament.
You're talking about exposure, and they drafting people from overseas.
Yeah.
Obviously, they know you.
But those are pro leagues over there drafting people from.
People fall through the cracks. I get it. People fall through the cracks all the time. I'm one of the smartest people in America, and I don't make $1 million. I get it. People fall through the cracks all the freaking time. All I'm simply saying is, it is what it is. It's not really to the high degree or the high level that you think it is. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's just not. If
I'm Jalen Green, I still go to the G League. I take my $500,000, but I hire some coaches. I get some extra coaching because I don't think the coaching in the G League is as good. I want to still keep developing.
That's so disrespectful to Eduardo Nahra.
It really is.
How dare you?
How dare I?
No, and he can tell dude exactly what he need to know. How to be a good role player, because that's probably what you're going to be next year, Mr. Green. That's what I'm saying. Let me show you how to take a charge. Let me show you how to raise your hand. When the star player get a foul, you raise your hand. Don't be slow with it. Put it up real quick like that. A foul on you. It's not on LeBron. I got you. That's what you need to learn.
Yeah. So, all right. So anybody else you want to talk about going into the NBA draft? I know Cole Anthony, he declared this week. You think he's top? I would take him high.
I love Cole Anthony. Gotta talk about my Bulls. There's rumors that the Bulls might be trying to get in on the Cole Anthony, have a little North Carolina backcourt. They thinking about. Right. I don't know. I heard these words and then I threw up. I was like, okay, nah, I don't want them. They talking about a Steph and Clay kind of combination. Not that they could shoot, but just saying just having two dynamic guards who are not maybe one. They're not point guards and they're not two guards. They just look. But don't say Steph and Clay. That just kind of annoyed me. I'm like, them dudes can shoot the lights out. If they would have said Lillard and McCollum, I would have been okay with that. Like, that's a better comparison because those guys just play basketball. Them other two guys are all-time great shooters. That's just wrong. I know whoever the guy that I heard it from, I understand what he was trying to say. Just two guards to build your team around.
Yeah.
But nah. I love Cole Anthony, but I love his dad. Back when he was, here at UNLV and they was, spanking Duke. That was good times. So, yeah, I love his dad. He got high basketball IQ because his dad had a high basketball.
Does. Yeah, right, yeah. I would agree with that. So, I didn't like him because he played at UNLV and they beat us by 30 points in a championship game. But, we came back next year and beat them. So, it's all right.
That's not true. Everybody here in Las Vegas knows that them dudes threw the game. So, because they didn't get $500,000, but they got cash back then. Why? We already got a championship. Everybody
bet on Duke.
Everybody knows that Larry Johnson from Dallas led the way. Watch the game, Dave. They just started making turnovers that's uncharacteristic of them. They started doing stuff that didn't even. Them brothers threw the game. Threw the game.
Don't say something that's going to get us sued in the second episode.
Hold on. Allegedly.
Thank you.
Allegedly, them brothers threw the game. It's my opinion. We're about to talk right now. I can say what I want to say. It's America. It's freedom of speech, I think. Anyway, my point is...
Not 100%. No, it's not. You can get sued. Yeah. You can say whatever you want, but you can also get sued for saying whatever you want.
Hey, man, if the brother sue me, all he going to get is this table right here, and he better be careful because one of the legs is about to fall off. He can put a link. He ain't giving this up. He got to have to take it off my cold dead
body. So I was gonna say something about Duke this week because they have to have like a bunch of guys go in the draft. They got 6 guys coming in. 4 of them are 5-star recruits. 2 of them are 4-star recruits. they're 10 deep with guys that were in the last couple years supposed to be one and done guys, and none of them look like they are ready for the NBA.
Whole
So
Kentucky whole starting five just declared,
yeah,
literally.
so I would probably pick up Vernon White, but I wouldn't take him in the lottery, and I think he's the best one coming out of Duke this year. So uh, Duke, man, I don't know where they're going to fit all these guys. They're going to have to somebody's going to have to transfer. Somebody's going to have to go play in Europe because they're.
And then
I
some of
mean,
them scrubs at the end of the bench will become managers.
yes, Tyus Jones is. Yeah, I mean they usually
Came
have
out.
they have one or
Tyus
two.
came out.
Yeah, did he come out already?
Tyus came out. I'm pretty sure. I don't quote
I
me
haven't
on
heard,
that, but I
but
think
I'm
Tyus
sure he's
came.
going to. I'm sure he's going to. So, so that's one. And Vernon White, two of those guys get drafted. The rest of them, I don't know what the hell they're going to do. I really don't. But I was saying Duke needed some guys that stay a couple, 3 years and be some leadership. But man, they're going to have to redshirt some of these guys, red shirts, and somebody's going to have to transfer somewhere else just to
I'm
make.
telling you, them last 3 or 4 dudes on the bench that don't ever play, they just gonna become managers.
Well, they
That's
played.
how it works.
They played 10 guys this year, man. Like on the regular. So they usually have like one or two guys that they let walk on or whatever. A guy that's been managing the team for 4 years and he's a fifth-year senior, they let him walk on or do something like that or whatever. But they're not going to have room for him this year. I don't know what they're going to do. I'm sure Coach K will work out something, but they got a lot of good guys coming in, and these guys that were supposed to be really good last year coming in, there's just not going to be room for all of them. I don't know what they're going to do, but so I'll be interested to see what they're going to do going forward in the draft. So now, something else you said you wanted to talk about was Euros. You want to cover the Euros now?
Man, we could. It's a short conversation. Do not drive Euro trash.
Well, okay,
That's the end of it. If you're in
you
the NBA, don't draft. I mean, for every one star you get, don't get me wrong. I'm just being a good American. It's some Euro cats. It's some Euro cats that can play. Just don't draft them. The draft, that's part of you know how many little kids in America, that's their American dream, to be drafted by the NBA or the NFL so they can walk out on stage with their fly suit and hug the commissioner. Man, don't give that dream away to some Euro. They should have a separate Euro draft. That's all I'm saying. I ain't really for the Euros. Ain't been but about 2 killers from the Euro. My man Drazen Petrovic was a killer. And Akeem Olajuwon.
He didn't come from Europe.
What you mean? Anything that ain't in America is Europe. So let me take that back. Let me take that back. The other cold European was Steve Nash. Let me give you that one. If it ain't in America, it's European to me. I'm just saying.
You ought to be proud of Olajuwon. He's from Africa, man.
My point is, he's just not from here. If you're a foreign-born player, Euro, doesn't matter where you're from. We don't. I'm just saying, let's be American about something. Why can't we just come together as Americans on this one thing? Since we can't seem to come together on COVID-19, let's at least come together on drafting American players. Let everybody who's not from America be just free agents. Whoever want to make get it. I'm just saying. I just like the idea and seeing somebody's dream come true that might look like you, that might be from your neighborhood. I don't know them cats, man. I don't know them cats.
I don't care what they look like if they can ball. But here's my thing with the Euros. Here's the thing with the Euros, man, is that the Mavericks have drafted or signed to free agency or whatever so many Euros over the last 20 years that have been terrible. I'm gonna get to those two, but what do you think the percentage of those two is? There's probably been 25, 30 other Euro guys that the Mavericks have signed. Roddy Dubois.
Roddy Dubois.
Come on.
You know why he come to mind? Because he looked good for a brief minute. I think he scored like 40 or 50 one time. So we remember Roddy Dubois because we thinking, the Mavericks they hit on another one. But unfortunately, they only hit on 2. They hit on Dort and they hit on Luka Doncic. And I'm gonna say it right now. I know you're a Mavs fan. Luka Doncic is already the Mavs' best player all times right now.
He's had the best season so far. He's the
best player the Mavericks ever had. Can Dirk do that dribble thing? Don't say because he's 7 foot. We ain't trying to hear that. We ain't trying to hear that. Don't let me get on the 7 foot thing. I'm just saying, KD 7 foot. KD 7 foot. He can dribble that thing. Giannis is 7 foot. He can dribble that thing. Dirk can't dribble.
Until Doncic wins a championship, Dirk is still the best Maverick player of all time.
No, that's not true.
Oh yeah, Doncic has done it. Doncic has done it for a couple years now. Dirk did it for 20.
He done it for a year and a half. Dirk didn't do it for no damn 20. He did it for like 12 years, and then he just started just coasting.
15.
Right, 2011, they won. That next season, it was done.
I give him 15.
He ain't never looked good.
When Doncic wins a championship, I'll say he's the best player. And I won't have a problem with it. But he's got to win a championship first. Because he's got to win a championship.
Everything is predicated on the championship. So that makes...
That's right.
What if he wins an MVP?
That's right. If he wins an MVP, that's pretty good. It's not a championship.
He's the best in the whole league. But he can't be the best in his own organization. Come on, man. Doncic do way more with a ball. He pass it, rebound it, shoot it, dribble it. Come on, man. Dirk can't do all that, man. Ain't nothing wrong with admit. Why we admitting stuff?
Yeah.
LeBron is a better player than Michael Jordan.
Okay.
But Michael Jordan is still an all-time best, right?
Okay.
Just because right?
Yeah, I'm good with either one of those arguments. Yeah.
I'm just saying we just gotta recognize in this case, Doncic don't have titles yet, and he might not be a Maverick when he win them. But my point is, what I'm trying to get at is, Doncic have done more for the Mavs in this year and a half, in his first year and a half, than Dirk did. So if you just start looking at the progression of where he can go, and where he started from, and where Dirk started from in his progression, man, I don't see how the dude can't get better. Well, I'm just saying
the trajectory is much better for Luka.
All right, so I'm putting the trajectory in there.
But he's not there yet. But he's not there yet. He is great. Don't get me wrong, but he's just not.
I'm with you. I'm just messing with you, man. I almost messed up my own argument. You know, I just can't stand Dort.
Yeah, and we're going to get to that one day, not today, and people will understand our argument. But the other thing I was going to say was, Adam Silver today or yesterday, someday said something about he wants to finish the NBA season. So, man, I don't think that's going to happen. I don't know what he's thinking, but I mean that's going to push back the draft. That's going to push back camps. That's going to push back. If he's going to finish the NBA season, there's no way that he's going to start next season on time.
That's correct. He already said that it's going to be December 25th. The first game will be on this Christmas Day.
Okay, I didn't hear that yet.
Okay. So if the first game is, don't nobody watch Christmas Day anyway. I
do. I watch all day.
Yeah, just me, you, and the cats down at the local casino bet. Yeah. We're the only people that's watching on October. And that's when the seats are cheapest, by the way. When you got to get your seats before your team start winning. If your team start out at 3-3, the tickets just, and I'll be in there trying to get all the tickets I can. You know what I mean? So they say the season, if at this point, look like it might have to be a start of December 25th. The smartest thing that he keeps saying, even I think the NFL people are saying too, I don't know. We'll see. You know what I mean? Like, they got contingency upon contingencies, and for a point, like they don't know what they're gonna do. Tomorrow they could say the whole country is open, and boom, they got a plan for that. They could say not gonna be open to June.
They got about 20 games left in the regular season, something like that, somewhere around there.
That's done. I think that's done. I think that they're gonna play.
He said he wants to finish the regular season.
That's how. I mean, people in hell want ounce water too. You can only get what you can get. I'm just saying, you playing just a couple games, 3, 4, 5 games, just to warm up, just so we can say, hey man, all right, we're not coming into the playoffs cold, but that season is done. That's a wrap. We going straight into the playoffs. I don't think was it normally 8 teams? I don't think it's 8 teams in the West and 8. I think it's going to be 4, right? At best. And this still, again, it's a contingency thing to it, right? So I don't know. Is they gonna start in June? Like every day, not every week. We're not even at no week or month. Every day puts it in jeopardy. Every day that there are no games put it in jeopardy. And the biggest thing you said is, I don't know what he thinking. I know what he thinking. Thinking about that cheddar,
Well,
about them green, them
I
dead
told you,
presidents.
I told you
It's
last
about
week the way to make that money. I told you last week is that you do it like the NCAA tournament, one and done until you got four teams left. Everybody plays, and then you got one game until there's four teams left, and then you play your finals and your Western Conference Finals, your Eastern Conference Finals, whatever. Because and then everybody makes some money. Everybody makes some money, and it's exciting. I'm telling you, I think it would be great.
don't
But
nobody want to watch the Washington
I
Wizards.
do.
No
If the
kind of
Washington, if they beat Boston in the first game, I want to watch that. If they beat,
if they beat one.
they might. It's
Stop,
one game. It's one
stop,
game.
stop.
Bradley Beal could score 45 points. You know,
If Bradley Beal could score 75, his
he
team
could.
only gonna have 85 at the end of the game.
Thomas Bryant could get 10.
Watch your mouth now. There you go. You always saying cuss words.
So anyway, but so I don't know when they're going to push the draft back to. That'll be interesting to see. But what's cool, if you said they're going to start the regular season maybe next year in December, then maybe they do have like a summer league, but it's in September. So
Correct.
if it's in September, I'm gonna come see you in September. We're gonna go to some games then. I think that'd be cool. It would not be so damn hot when I'm walking around trying to get from.
Texas is still harder, bro.
Yeah.
Just like today, I went outside, went to the store. It was 92 degrees. The window, I mean, but it felt like it was like
Yeah.
86,
I
and
understand
it
that,
was breeze.
but hot is hot still. I mean, it's not. I know it's not like hot here. I agree with you. I agree with you. But hot is still hot. You get to a certain level and it's hot, and it's worse if it's a lot. If it was worse if it's a lot more humid, but hot is still hot.
Right on,
So
right on. I feel you.
anyway, so what do you think the MLB is going to do? What do you think baseball is going to start?
Don't nobody cares baseball. The season is long. I
Yeah,
don't watch baseball until after
right.
4th of July anyway.
Yeah.
Like the best thing, the most luckiest person in the world is the Astros. Because
Because nobody's talking about
pre-pandemic, it was like Astros suck, kill the Astros. I can't believe the Astros
them.
did this. Oh, I hate the Astros. And now it's like, I wonder if we're gonna have a season. What about the Astros? Don't worry about the Astros. So I mean, I love baseball. I love to go to the game and watch baseball, but until they actually playing, I mean, like they got the same issues as all the other leagues. It's just a matter of when we gonna play, if we can play.
All right. All right. So moving on, we'll go to tailgating. So is there anything outside the world of sports that you want to not? This is not raised rumination, but anything else you want to cover?
Nah, man, I ain't got nothing else. What's on your mind?
Okay. I do. Just for outside the world of sports. This is not Dave's dialogue because I got something for that. But outside of the world of sports, somebody give me some stock tips. Somebody, I know this market is crashing, and I got a couple dollars here and there. I can't spend a much, but I tell you what, if you got a few bucks, and people always say the stock market is for rich people and all that. It's not. I am not rich, but I can spend $100 here or whatever, buy a few pieces of stock here or there. So if you got some tips, give me some tips because I want to buy
Sunworks,
something.
baby, buy that Sunworks. That's what I'm. Not you. I'm talking to any of the 3 people that watch this. Sunworks, go get that Sunworks. I'm up 9% right now. 9%.
9%. And for what you bought that stock or with at how
Hey
much
man,
is nine?
hey,
How much is
don't be telling
9%?
about. I gotta tell about all my business. I gotta put my business up there. I'm up 9%. Everybody else, y'all need to go get that Sunworks. Let me try to get to 12%. That's
Don't
all.
try to sue them if it goes down.
Hey,
So
this is for entertainment and marketing purposes only.
that's right. So I started a private chat with Neil, and so we talk about some stocks. Hey, what are you looking at? What are you looking at? If you hear something here, that so we talk about it a little bit. But yeah, I encourage you guys too. Anybody out there that thinks the stock market is just for rich people,
You out there pimping, out there.
I'm getting nothing out there, but people, the stock market is down, and it's probably going to go down a little more because earnings have not come in yet. So you guys, if you got a few extra bucks here and there, and I know it's a lot of people are hard hit. If you got a few extra bucks, it's like $7 or $6 or something like that to trade on E-Trade, less on Scott Trades, all these other trading sites, man. You can get it for cheaper, whatever. spend a few bucks, see if you can make a few bucks. Look at it like Ford stock right now is under $5. That's a blue chip.
That's a
So,
blue chip stock.
and they got a 15-cent per share dividend. So I am by no means an expert at this. I've made a little bit, I've lost a little bit, but it's worth it right now just to kind of poke around if you got $50, $100 just to look around. Okay, so now it's time for Ray's rumination. What do you got for me, man?
Ray, man, can I get a better intro in that? What time is it? What's time for
What
what?
time is it? It is Ray's rumination. Come
Yeah,
on,
it's
come
about
on with it.
time, man. This the best part of the show anyway, when I get to hear myself talk, because I know that's what everybody
We're
want to
hearing you
hear.
talk the whole show,
All, but for today's Ray reminiscence, I want to talk about April 25th,
which is what?
my half birthday.
Your half birthday.
You damn right, my half birthday. All I want to say, why I can't celebrate half birthday? Why we leave half birthdays for little kids out there? I'm 2.5. I'm 2.5. You ain't even done nothing. You just learned how to take a dookie by yourself without getting it in your drawer. I've made 2.5-year-olds, and I already know how to take a dookie without it getting in my drawers. So I feel like I have done something in the world, and I should get to celebrate half birthdays. And just the other day, I was bringing this up, and then right here, you can't see it right there. Blaze Pizza. I love Blaze Pizza. They sent me a half birthday coupon. I
Really?
told y'all it's a thing. Half birthdays is a thing. You ain't got to be 2.5, 38.5, 45.5, 22.5. Man, you done lived in the world long enough. It's hard. I'm a black man. Just going outside is dangerous. Why I gotta wait a year to celebrate? Half, brother. Half, half, half. April 25th is my half birthday. I take steaks, kisses, cheesecakes, all of that. Holla at your boy.
Well, you know I got something on the way for you for your half birthday. I sent you.
Amen.
I sent you that
Amen
link
to that.
today. You're gonna have a nice set of headphones coming in
Yeah,
probably
yeah.
Saturday.
That's nice.
So,
That's nice. That's
so
nice.
there you go. Happy half birthday to you, Ray.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. I appreciate that love.
All right. So now we're gonna move on to Dave's dialogue. And for Dave's dialogue, what I would like to talk about today is Netflix. You suck, man. I
What
hate.
Netflix do to you, bro?
Listen,
What
I
Netflix do
tell
to
you
you?
what, Netflix, man, you know what? They got some good stuff on there and some series and all this stuff. But I spend more time on Netflix looking for something to watch than I actually do watching anything. And here's the problem with that is like, I hate documentaries. I will never watch a documentary. If there's a documentary that I'm going to watch, I'm going to hear about it from a friend. You know, Dirk has a documentary on Netflix where they talk about him. It's been in my queue for like 4 years. I have never watched it. You know I love Dirk, and I can't watch documentaries. But I get all these documentaries in my suggestions, and I can't make them go away. And you got all these movies that like are in 10 different categories. Oh, it's in drama. Oh, it's in romance. It's also in comedy.
It
Oh,
is messed up.
it's also in buddy movie, and you can't make it go away. I will never watch that movie, but I still got to watch. When I'm going through my queue and suggestions, I got to see it in 10 different categories, and I can't make it go away. I have no control of my Netflix queue and what I see. I watched one Asian film one time, and I got 1,000 suggestions about this Asian, so this South Korean soap opera, this Japanese soap opera. Man, I don't want to see all that stuff. I watched one show and I thought it was all right. I liked it. I enjoyed it, but I don't want to see all that stuff in my queue. I want to be able to make stuff in those suggestions go away because I am never going to watch them. God forbid that my niece or nephew comes over and watches a cartoon, one cartoon, and then, oh, there's a cartoon in this category. There's a cartoon in this
And
category. There's a cartoon in family. There's a cartoon in drama. There's a cartoon in comedy. I don't want
right.
to see, and it's the same one in all of them. So I got to see it 20 times. Netflix, you suck. You should make that easier. There's a lot of stuff on there I know I would probably want to watch, and I just can't find it because I got to wade through the mud and the muck of all your stupid suggestions that you're going to show me 15 times. 15 times. So,
And on top of all that, you only need to know one thing about Asian movies.
what's that?
Is is Maggie O in it? Yeah. That's it. That's all you need to know. Maggie O.
All right, Maggie O. All right. So I think that's our show for the day. I had a good time, Ray. I hope you had a good time.
Oh man, always, like always. I'm so glad we doing this, man.
Yeah.
Like, cause one day I might show this to my grandkid. Never mind. I'm not having none of those.
Yeah, you got 6 sons. You're gonna have probably 20 of them.
Hey, watch your mouth, man. Just because they have them, don't mean I have to accept them.
Oh, okay. So I have a grand niece. My daughter's daughter, my sister's daughter has a baby, and her birthday is on April 25th. So she shares her birthday with your
Happy birthday on my half birthday.
Yeah.
Man, I knew your people was good people, man. I knew it.
Right, and that's my twin sister's granddaughter. So anyway, so there you go. So good show this week. I enjoyed it. Let's do it again next week. See if we can make it all the way to episode 3, man.
All right, right on. Love you, brother. Out.
All right. Later, man.